Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Before we get started, happy 43rd birthday to the Duchess of Sussex, hoping that the Duchess has a wonderful birthday with family and friends. The Invictus Games Foundation was delighted to recently host the Minister of Patriots and Veteran Affairs from the Republic of Korea to discuss the possibility of the East Asian nation potentially hosting the Invictus Games in 2029. This visit by Minister Kang was preceded by a visit from a delegation sent by the Republic of Korea's government to understand further the initiatives offered by the foundation to members of the Invictus community. The Republic of Korea was the first East Asian nation to join the Invictus Games at the 2020 Hague Games, and also competed for the second time at the 2023 Games. Now, if you're interested to know more about this visit and other latest news from the Invictus Games Foundation, feel free to check it out on its official website, or also follow them on X, TikTok, and Instagram. There are so many different activities that the Invictus Games Foundation has been up to. It's not just a one-time game and then they sort of forget about the veterans. There's different programs, there's constantly different sporting events and festivals and activities. So check it out. We quickly touched on the upcoming CBS interview that Harry and Meghan will be doing on CBS, so don't forget to check that out.
On Sunday morning, an exclusive conversation with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Jane Pauley talks with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex about their new project called the Parents Network. The organization, in association with their Archewell Foundation, supports parents whose children have been impacted by online harm.
Today, a different kind of encounter with Harry and Meghan. The spotlight not so much on them, but on parents dealing with the damage from social media. On a brilliant summer day near Santa Barbara last week, a group of friends got together. This was not your typical receiving line.
Hi!
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, better known as Harry and Meghan, are definitely big huggers. It was a meeting of an exclusive club.
Oh, it's good to meet you.
And one that none of them wanted to join. Most of the parents here have lost a child, directly or indirectly, as a result of exposure to online social media. Harry and Meghan are trying to give them, and parents like them, some place to turn for help.
The central topic is the loss that these families have suffered. Stories that need to be shared because the parents who are listening who have not suffered a loss think that they couldn't. But they could.
They certainly could. And that's, I think, one of the scariest things.
In the last video, we also spoke about Harry and Meghan's upcoming Colombia trip. And predictably, the British press started to lose their ever-loving minds. And this time around, the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, came on his official Twitter to throw a little bit of shade towards the British press. As they continued to go on and on about Colombia being so unsafe, and why is it that Harry and Meghan would go to Colombia and not come to the UK. So let's get this straight. For 2024, this is the third place that they've been moaning and groaning about, right? They said Jamaica is just so horrible. What are they doing there? They're anti-monarchy in Jamaica. Why would they go there with the enemy? And then it was Nigeria, and now it's Colombia. Are you not tired? I know I am.
Ay, me encanta. Meghan and Harry have been invited by the Vice President of Colombia, Francis Marquez, to come to Colombia, which they will be doing mid-August. She's also the Minister of Equality and Equity. So they're going to be hosting in November a very important conference, which is elimination of violence against children. So this is kind of a way of promoting that event that's coming. And obviously Meghan and Harry have such a profile, so it's perfect to have invited both of them through the Archewell Foundation. So I love the fact that they are being invited. Obviously this is not a royal tour, but these two do have influence. And they're going to countries that many people don't know. Now, I've been to Colombia a few times and I love that country. The people, the food, everything. And they're showing the cultures to the world, which I think is only a good thing. I don't care what the press say, but obviously here on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, we're going to be seeing what she's wearing, what they talk about, everything. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, right?
Now, the mayor of Cali shared some insights into the itinerary of Harry and Meghan, and according to him, they are going to come to Cali for 1 day. They'll be visiting Petronio and other social initiatives. This is very important. It is the highest level visit in recent years. That is another way to put Cali in the eyes of the world. Looking forward to it.
It has just been announced that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, will be touring Colombia. And the response is exactly what you think it would be. This tour, which will be the first time that both of them have been to a South American country together, is going to be focused on mental health activism and helping to foster safer online communities for young individuals. This news of the tour goes hand in hand with the news that Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, will be doing an interview this Sunday on CBS Sunday Morning. Before I jump into the absolutely insane response to this news, I need to point out something really important. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were invited to visit Colombia by the Vice President of Colombia. This is not them wanting to go on a royal tour. This is not them planning to do this on their own volition. They've been invited by a dignitary of a South American country to come talk with them about something that their organization works on and something that they are passionate about. They're experts. They were invited. So of course, all the Meghan Markle haters and royalists are out in full force and are completely losing it online, saying things that are so... How are you going to say this about Colombia? Do you read how insane that is? The only thing laughable about this here is that you think that these two are affecting the mental health of the royal family. These two, who were cast out, bullied incessantly by mainstream media, are the ones causing the mental health to decline for the royal family. Okay. People are calling it a shopping trip. Mind you, they were invited by the vice president of the country of Colombia. They were invited. I cannot stress this enough. They should go and never come back. Come back where? Meghan Markle will never touch the shores of the United Kingdom. Ever. Prince Harry has made that extremely clear. The irony is not lost on me that they're going there to help with cyberbullying and the announcement is being bombarded by cyberbullies. Crazy. They're actually enacting change, helping young children who are being cyberbullied. When was the last time the royal family did anything to help anyone?
And I think that that is the problem for some of these trolls, the press, and the royal family. Try as hard as they might, and Lord knows they've been doing that for years now, they have not been able to cast Harry and Meghan in the light of villain globally. Now, yes, there's some people who are hardcore royalists who have an issue with Harry and Meghan, and they'll always have an issue with them, always quick to see or create bad from the good that Harry and Meghan do. But globally, people adore them. They see value in the work that they do, and they invite them. Keyword, invite. Unlike some other people who just decide, hey, you know, we're going to send this person to these countries for royal tours. They were not invited. Much like that Caribbean tour. That was a tour from hell. But Harry and Meghan are invited. And even without the backing of this institution, they do great work. They use their fame to put a lot of eyes on the places that they go to and the initiatives that they participate in. And this bothers them. They haven't been able to break them, haven't been able to break them up, and they haven't been able to stop them from doing good work. And someone on, was it X, made a joke about the working royals who are barely working. And the only working royals seem to be Harry and Meghan. I mean, they've been stacking up trips all year. And chances are, on top of that, we're going to be seeing a launch of ARO. Probably we'll see Harry's Netflix show, or maybe that's next year. But we'll definitely be seeing the release of Meghan's show. So yeah, the non-working royals seem to be doing all the work. And it's interesting for them to say things about Colombia's safety when other members of that family have been there.
Oh dear. All 4 top royals, well I say top, I mean that's what they're considered. The only thing they're top of is a list of scroungers, squatters and pampered parasites. The 4 of them, King Charles, Camilla, Prince William and Princess Kate, are currently not working. Apparently they've had all their forthcoming events cancelled. To be fair, 2 of them are sick. In my opinion, King Charles has been sick since he's been friends with Jimmy Savile. But the other 2... Our expensive British royal family is worse than our expensive British rail services. At least when our trains cancel, we can get a refund.
Meghan has handled this tsunami of hate with such grace and strength. Most of all, she's turning her lived experiences into something that is positive and helpful to others, to other young men and women who may be experiencing the same to lesser degrees, and making sure that there are less moms and dads who lose their children to the unsafe environment that the social media landscape very often is.
Meghan Markle needs to stay far away from the UK. Did you know Harry and Meghan's wedding was watched by 1.9 billion people globally? It was the highest viewed royal wedding of all time, and it brought in over $1 billion in tourism and merch sales, making it one of the most successful royal events in history. And therein lies the problem. Meghan is too big a draw, too big a fish for the tiny pond that is the royal family. She made the world stop and stare, not just England. I like to call it the Diana effect. It wasn't that she wasn't good enough for the job, it's that she was too good at the job. Look at old sourpuss back there hating on his wife. Meghan was too well received. She represented the wrong kind of people. She was too loved by the public, too popular to ever play second fiddle. And while before the wedding it was mainly royal reporters and her gutter rat family that were against her, after their historic ratings-shattering wedding that played out like a Disney-designed fairy tale, it would quickly become the entire institution determined to see her demise. They weren't prepared for what she would mean to us. They didn't expect her to take the work so seriously. They didn't realize she had far more to offer than a pretty face, and they certainly didn't forecast love for Meg deflating interest in the heirs. For the firm, the Markle sparkle was just a little too bright and she worked a little too hard. In their minds, her duty was to shut up, sit back, and smile when told to. But Meghan is not a do-nothing. She came with experience and education, and a natural charisma that allows her to connect and affect real change. She was never going to be a smile and wave girl, a sit down, shut up, and do what we say girl. American women are strong-minded and strong-willed. Freedom of speech isn't just something we say, it's something we mean. Not culturally nor individually was Meghan raised to be a mute mouse that was afraid to rock the boat. She was taught to stand up for what she believes in, even if she's standing alone. She was built for this. And still, in collusion with the press, they tried to break her confidence, destroy her public image, and ultimately end her marriage. Through short-sighted jealousy of both Harry and Meghan, they decided they'd rather fail without them than succeed with them. Then finally, after years of pleading for an impartial press and asking for civility within the family, Sussex drew a line in the sand. Enough was enough. It was time to leave. I truly believe, especially then, but even now, the Duchess is not safe in England. To save her and her children's lives.
The entire environment of social media, not just social media, media in a broader sense as well. You know, I think there is really legitimate media, but at the moment you see, in many ways, social media feeding into that. So it becomes a race to the bottom because this clickbait culture has made it so that something that's salacious is more interesting and gets more pickup and can be monetized.
Right.
So that ends up being the thing that feeds the entire environment of the media. You know, I think the challenging piece there is that in many ways, because it is so quick and rapid in how it's being delivered, it's about creating the news rather than reporting the news. But the damaging effects of that, specifically for women, especially for young girls, without question, you are perpetuating a cycle during lockdown and the absence of being out of the house or being at work. maybe you're spending 50 hours online. You're becoming indoctrinated. You're becoming conditioned to be cruel. And there has to be responsibility that lands somewhere, and that must be with the platforms, with some, that's a much larger conversation.
I'll tell you something about Charles, and as usual, comments are open, would love your opinion. Charles is the expert at looking down and judging other people. Charles loves judging other people from his gilded robes, his gilded throne, his billionaire wealth, his unlimited resources, and his unlimited time. That is the type of person that Charles is. And we've all seen it in digital video media when he's been meeting the public and he's been desperate to escape and he's deliberately ignored some members of the community that he's meeting. Skin colour, not going to say anymore. We've all seen it, right? You can't hide that stuff. This is why Charles feels so entitled and qualified to comment on Harry's behaviour. But the simple fact is, it's a two-way street. Charles can get on a plane with his unlimited wealth and resources and staff to arrange it for him and go to California. The fact is, Charles believes, as the king, he is the ultimate decision maker in that family, and he is too big to back down, repair some bridges that have been broken, and do the right thing as a father. He's always been pontificating and judgmental over everybody. He's been caught on audio sometimes when he thought the mic was being switched off, describing BBC journalists as awful, awful men and other things. He believes he's beyond reproach.
It's about ego, it's about control, and punishment. In a lot of ways, the combination of Harry and Meghan reminds Charles of Princess Diana. Her taking up all the oxygen in the room, the attention, the charm, all surrounded Diana. Not him, he was an afterthought in comparison to her. And with Harry and Meghan, it's in a lot of ways the same thing. And then you add the layer of Charles losing control of Harry. Now he has no access to Harry. He doesn't know what Harry's going to do from one day to the next. Harry refused to back down from those legal cases, refused to back down from naming one of William's men to stay there and be used and abused. He refused to offer up his wife and children for tribute. So Charles is vexed by that. And not only that, Harry went on to expose the bad behavior of Charles, of William, of Kate, and of course his dear old Camilla. Can't have that. So I don't think that Charles would ever see fit to truly apologize or take accountability for what he's done and how he's contributed to creating the mess that this situation is. He'll never do that. When has he ever taken accountability for the things that he's done wrong? I'll wait. So those egos that have been built and puffed up by being surrounded by a bunch of yes men who tell you that you are above all else, superior, right? Heir, the king, the world, and everyone in it should revolve around you. So we'll end this video with wise words from Duchess Meghan, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
What's interesting is I hear a lot of people saying, when speaking about girls' empowerment, finding and knowing their worth, or women's empowerment as well, you'll often hear people say, well, you're helping women find their voices. And I fundamentally disagree with that, because women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice, they need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to be encouraged to listen.
You know the score. Come at me if you like. Comments are open. I really don't care, but would love to hear your opinion. Lots of frenetic, that's a good word, isn't it, activity in the UK and international digital media this weekend, as it's revealed by numerous titles under different headlines. I've made a nice graphic for you there to make it easy, that William and Kate are panicking about Omid Scooby's upcoming TV show. But the reality is, if they're so picture perfect and squeaky clean, what have they to fear? I think William and Kate are worried that some investigation's been done with some evidence and receipts about where the leaks about Harry and Meghan were actually coming from. We all have our suspicions, right? We all have our suspicions that it's Kensington Palace, Camilla, Kate, William. But if there's evidence and receipts that are going to be revealed in this TV show, Yet again, William and Kate will look very, very poor.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.